So what are we covering today? We're going to very quickly recap on ECTIA, the Economic Crime Transparency and Enforcement Act. I would say, however, though, that I'm assuming that most of you are fairly familiar with the provisions of ECTIA, which came in fully in force about a year ago in February 2023. I think we can all agree that ECTIA has made things very, very much more complicated, where you've got overseas entities in the mix, where an overseas entity is buying, selling, or otherwise dealing with land. But you do need to have a basic grounding in ECTIA to be able to understand what I'm going to talk about today. So we're going to have a quick recap of ECTIA in a minute. We're then going to look at ECTA, the new legislation which came into force in October 2023. ECTA, for example, it basically widens the scope of ECTIA. I know it's very confusing to have both statutes, ECTIA and ECTA, with very similar abbreviations, but the names are just far too long to say out in full each time. Anyway, as we'll see in a minute, ECTA 2023 introduces even more rules, stricter rules for getting your OEID, tougher new rules for nominees and corporate trustees and settlors and grantors and so on. Tougher rules, you'll see there's a theme here, tougher rules about updating the OEID, far more onerous. Also, you're going to have to report changes to registrable beneficial owners throughout the update period. There's updating problems for trusts at the moment because Companies House hasn't got the forms and the IT in place. Also, there's a new ability for Companies House to revoke an OEID, which is slightly alarming. We're going to have a quick look at land registry issues as well. We're going to remind ourselves of the criminal sanctions for overseas entities who own a qualifying estate but haven't yet got their OEID because they've not got round to it. Also, at the very end, we're going to look at ECTA's new requirements that apply to all companies, UK companies that is, that file information at Companies House. Again, tougher, stricter, much more complicated. So we're going to touch on those at the end because they will be relevant for any UK company. And we're also going to have a quick look at proposals to require further transparency on trusts that own land. So, as I said, the sort of general theme is more onerous, more transparency.